Good afternoon. My name is Billy Highfill. It is Sunday 1st. This is the class FGT 122, the final assignment. I have these dummy cartridges, and I'm disassembling them using this magical disassembly tool and a pair of pliers. I'll place the cartridge in like that, and it will lock around with these silver things, but since this doesn't work very good for me, I just use pliers. Get you some Knipex pliers. Good grip. Ta-da! This is a 9x19 Luger, or 9mm Luger. There we go. Full metal jacket. This is my scale drawing. So, to disassemble these, I would find the appropriate size of these little silver things, insert it into, screw on the blue head to tighten down, but I'm not going to do that because they don't work very good for me. And also you would, come on, Johnson. Maybe I see why you wouldn't want to do that because it's really marring it. I have a bench vise, that way I could apply more pulling pressure. See, yeah, because this, what is this? 38 special, yeah. Push down a little deeper. Since I marred that full metal jacket up, if I was weighing it or doing something to, like to get measurements of the bullet or something like that, this would not be an optimal way. So I would use my bench vise outside. But I'm not outside right now. The same thing would go for the rest of these rounds, but I've been having shoulder issues. I posterior rotator cuff. So I'm not going to fight it. And since this has been working, I'm not going to try to fight with this. So the proper method for getting the size of a bullet in case. So when it comes to taking measurements, there's lots of different things you can measure. You can measure overall case length. You can measure like the width of the mouth, right? If it's a neck down, you can measure the variance between the overall case wall, like the body, and the shoulder and the neck. You can measure the angle of the shoulder. You can measure like the primer pocket, the extractor groove. You can measure all these variances. The way you do it, you take this handy little tool, a little caliper, caliper. Say we're measuring. This is kind of hard to measure the case wall. Here, you can measure the thickness. Put that up in like that, ready? You tighten it down like that. But since I'm not a bum, you measure the inner diameter. Like 9mm. That would be, make sure 0.354 inches. Okay, that'd be inner diameter. Measure the wall. 0.021 inches. 0.023. 0.021 or 0.023. Measure the what is that? Wow. Not the extractor groove, but secondary rim. That's that rim down there. It's 0.055. There's all sorts of things you can measure. Overall length, right? 1.15 inches. This is for the 38 special. Bullet. Oh, another thing to measure. The weight, right? Measure the weight of the powder, you measure the weight of the bullet, and you can adjust variations of that to maximize certain things you might want, right? Whether you're shooting long distance or whether you're trying to mitigate your recoil, just maximize the energy you can put into a target in the shortest amount of time. while maintaining accuracy. 38 Special was initially produced in 1898. Parent case of 38 Long Colt. Smith & Wesson is the original manufacturer. There's been several variants. It was chambered in a revolver initially. The United States was the place of origin. It was the standard service cartridge for the majority of the United States police departments from the 1920s to the 1990s. It was also a common sidearm cartridge used by the United States Cobra military personnel in World War I and II and the Korean War and in the Vietnam War. That's all. That's what Wikipedia says. Ta-da! And sources like the Cartridge of the World are very essential because it has not all the information, but a lot of imperative information just in one consolidated resource. So you can figure out a lot of problems. There's a lot of information that you can refresh on by just pulling that book out, opening up the index, and opening up to a specific page and saying, yeah, that is what I thought, or, oh yeah, it's a little different than what I remembered. So it's a very good information source.